This is wonderful.
Jolly good. And good morning, Gobsmackers, and welcome to the very first Gobsmacked Hangout, dedicated to helping you find that next customer for your business or profession. And the whole purpose of this session is to introduce and explain the value that we intend to deliver to you in an environment which is aligned with our mission and our values, and that includes fun. We hope that this sparks a lot of interest and a lot of discussion, that spreads the good news, and that we can begin to build a really great community which delivers huge value for everyone. I'm here with Gobsmacked Queen Rini Das. Rini is also the high-profile CEO of PACRA. PACRA is a multinational organisation that has very successfully introduced game-based learning to all levels of corporations across incredibly diverse industries and on several continents. It's good to be here, Rini.
Well, thanks, Christine. Gobsmackers meet Christine Sutherland. She's a multi-talented, multifaceted woman out from Perth, Australia. Over the last 40 years, Christine, you have actually worked with corporate, medical, defense, military kind of sectors. You've really helped people to become better at what they do. You've written innumerable textbooks in the business world on those topics, and you're a clinical researcher too. So, Christine, the other thing Gobsmackers should know, and this is a spoiler alert, she sometimes gives out, free business development and sales coaching in order to help you increase your the number of customers you have and grow your business. So it's wonderful to see you, Christine.
So now the secret's out. But Rini, how important is fun, in your opinion, if we're to get the very most out of a learning environment or a learning opportunity?
I think fun is the most realistic option of a learning environment. I think a lot of us have grown up in learning environments where fun was never included. It was more of a task. It was trying to get something done. And that was the premise of starting Gobsmacked. You and I wanted to learn how to use G+, and we thought, why don't we crowdsource our learning and make it fun? And so here we are, talking about it.
Yeah, more fun in a crowd. But
absolutely.
The reason we kicked off Gobsmacked to begin with, there wasn't a lot of fun in that, was there, Rini?
Correct. As most people probably has known, and actually a lot of the newspapers in Australia and UK, and even the Forbes magazine out here discussed it, LinkedIn instituted a horrific policy called Site-Wide Automated Moderation, or SWAM, which essentially means that any user who's on a LinkedIn group has made a comment in that group, and for whatever reason their comment gets flagged, it triggers a whole series of events thereafter by which they're pretty much banned from ever commenting in any of the LinkedIn groups.
And with no recourse.
Right, with absolutely no really practical recourse to it. And the way it affected us, we had a LinkedIn channel which actually LinkedIn themselves used PACRA as a case study. And I don't want to go into the grave details of it because it has been covered by the press in such details. However, what it did was we had a reduction of 79% in our traffic referrals from LinkedIn, and we had about total effect of 42% reduction in the traffic coming through. So this has been, a huge thing, and you and I, we were chatting on a Google Plus talking about this, and you kept on saying, I'm just gobsmacked at what LinkedIn is doing to people. And so I thought, this was going to be our community. We're going to call it Gobsmacked.
Yeah, because we are.
Yes.
And we think that, well, it wasn't just us either, was it? We're not the only ones who are gobsmacked by this. How many people have you been able to discover have been affected?
We have seen, the estimates, some of the estimates are around 200,000 to about 3 million. And these are all business owners and people who have, made LinkedIn their own, on which they have built a community on.
Yeah. A lot of very, very upset people.
Absolutely.
So, Rennie, as you know, I've kind of been forced to look at Google Plus against my will. It wasn't something that I went looking for. I was forced into it because of what happened at LinkedIn. But since then, I'm completely stunned by what Google Plus has become over the years and what it offers now. But when I invite people to take a look at what's available, I get all kinds of responses that now are hard to understand. The old one like Google Plus is a ghost town. There's no one there. The only people there are marketers. And heaven forbid someone thinks of themselves as not a marketer, but I guess they're talking about scammy internet marketers. And I'm gobsmacked by that negative response to Google Plus. What do you say to people?
I think this is something that I heard it too, right? And of course, we were kind of motivated because we almost lost our channel there. However, when I came here, I was extremely surprised and gobsmacked at the same time as far as, how much Google Plus, the features that they have. And as far as the interesting thing about the ghost town, it is really who you want to interact with. There are lots of communities with very interesting conversations going on, and I think it is extremely important for us to understand how Google Plus, LinkedIn, and Facebook make their money. To give us an idea as to how, what they're going to provide us as users, it will all depend on how they make their money. And to that regard, what I have understood is that Google makes its money from search engines and auctioning the search database, and so they are interested in more conversations and in more discussions and all communications that happen because people are going to search for it. So the community experiences, the Google Plus experiences, when they joined, they drove it to make those conversations much more productive. What I call as, they reward you for active actions. So, for example, I can put out all kinds of content both on Facebook and LinkedIn and, Google, but I'm not rewarded for those content until somebody, reshares it and has a conversation with me. And so in order for that to happen, they also reward you with all kinds of analytics to tell you that. They do not reward what LinkedIn does because something in LinkedIn is they are based on a flat rate ad platform, right? I mean, if you take their recruitment products out. And so they are charging you for basically sponsored posts and things that you don't want to see. And, they give you a passive action reward. So passive action is who viewed your profile. Now, for me to know who viewed my profile, but I really don't know why they viewed it, and I don't know, whether I should be interacting with that individual. But that's what I'm getting out of LinkedIn, whereas in Google, due to ripples, I know Christine shared it with, 10 of their people. Those 10 people then reshared it with some other people. These are the people who are interested in the content that I'm posting there.
Yeah. So in other words, they're imbuing it with meaning,
right.
Being identified that there's meaning and value and quality.
Correct.
When shared in that way.
Right. And in case of LinkedIn, and also to a large extent in case of Facebook, not 100% like LinkedIn, the investors of LinkedIn and they are much more interested in the number of people who have joined the group, because that's how they, can sell their products. As opposed to Google, it's not the quantity so much, but it's the quality of it. Yeah. And in addition to that, Hearsay Social, which is a company that was formed by a fantastic entrepreneur named Clara Shea. Her claim to fame initially was she wrote this, probably the first book on social called Facebook Era, a long time ago. And she recently, her company posted this, and I love this quote, which is, if you ignore Google Plus and what will end up is Google search engines will completely ignore your business. And I think most of the businesses operate with a website, and everybody likes to hear from there. So it's very important that, Google Plus not be ignored anymore.
Yeah. I think even if people don't want to get on board right now, they really need to keep a weather eye on it, because they risk missing out big time. So,
correct.
Renee, why should people make sure they stay in touch with the news here, and why should they recommend staying in touch with Gobsmacked to all their friends and colleagues?
I think there are not that many communities out there on Google Plus that is talking about looking at the entire customer continuum, which means how do you professionally brand, how do you go out and get customers, how do you manage the customers, how do you do customer service. Few people, for example, Dell manages their customer service on here, on Google Plus. So we thought we needed a community not only for us to learn, it is really the community of the people who are going to join it. So of course we are going to provide many of these blogs and also hangouts that will come up with tutorials and tips and interviews with experts for all of us to learn how to collaborate and to leverage this Google Plus channel.
For the maximum benefit for ourselves and for our businesses. And
absolutely.
We're talking nuts and bolts, real life businesses here. We're not talking about the latest internet marketing idea or scam.
Absolutely.
So real people, real businesses, and
small
that's
businesses. Correct. Small businesses and enterprise. Large enterprises. I mean, it is just fascinating.
Absolutely. So, Renee, thanks for today. It's been great. I'm excited because I know we're looking at a whole new, very enjoyable, incredibly productive world of social networking, and this is something that is certainly transforming business as we know it today, and I welcome everyone here to join us on this very exciting adventure. Make sure you read our article below and keep up with the blogs. Stay in touch. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks all. Get a head start. Don't wait, and do share and engage. And thanks for joining us today. It was lovely.
Thank you, Renee. Good evening.
Good night to you.